All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Speak to the Beak. I am Tim the Ferds. I'm joined by Keith Hernandez, which obviously means we got a baseball pod incoming right now. And listen, it's the 4th of July, or it's going to be the 4th of July probably by the time you listen to this. So we're recording on Saturday. Little different than our schedule. We did not put a podcast out last week. The schedules just were not matching up. That's okay, because there wasn't really much going on anyway. So we're back here today, and I'm going to give you a little preview before we get Keith in here of the upcoming schedule that we got. So we're going to do one today. Then you got next week is the All-Star game, and there will be 2 days off, after the game is played. So that might be a light one. So what we'll do is, hopefully we can check in on the All-Star game, a little home run derby picks, some fun stuff before that, and then we'll start getting ramped up for the trade deadline. But Keith, how you doing today? 4th of July weekend, currently a nice rainy day out here.
4th of July weekend, Subway Series weekend. Can't get better than this, I guess, right?
Yeah, how about that? A little Subway Series, which we didn't get to see a game yet of, because as of right now, it is 11:30 in the morning. So, and yesterday got rained out, so no Subway Series. Not yet, anyway. Keith, so real quick before we start, does 4th of July weekend do anything for you in terms of baseball? Like, are you a fan of the, red, white, and blue Nationals uni and all the stuff that other teams do?
Sometimes, the uniforms are really nice. This year, the Padres are in Philadelphia this weekend. I saw Tatis signing autographs before the game yesterday, and I didn't know the whole league is wearing these stupid red hats. And I thought he was wearing a Phillies cap while he was signing autographs in Philadelphia yesterday. I was, very confused.
Yeah.
I like when they do the whole a whole uniform set, not just your regular jersey. They were wearing the brown jerseys and a red hat.
Yeah, it looks terrible.
It looks terrible. Do your regular base white or base gray, whatever. Do whatever change the main colors to red, white, and blue. Yeah, do whatever. Put stars and stripes on it. I don't really care.
So which one do you like better? The Mother's Day pink out or the 4th of July red, white, and blue?
Oh, Mother's Day pink out.
Yeah, yeah,
100%,
for sure. No, there's
Mother's
no
Day
doubt.
and Father's Day are the best.
Yeah.
For those.
The Mother's Day pink out, when they first did that, it had to be a while ago now, over 10 years ago, but my dad saw the pink bat and he was like, I need to have one of those. He just wanted one so bad.
On the Louisville Slugger site.
They do now, but not when they first started doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, here's what we got today. Some things we're going to go over. Hector Santiago, first guy tossed and ejected for sticky stuff. Obviously, we got some Trevor Bauer off the field news. Not good. Josh Donaldson calling out the White Sox. It's still Sho-Time in the middle of July. Kyle Schwarber goes down, but he was hot. Pablo Lopez hits Ronald Acuna. I don't know what the Marlins' obsession with hitting Ronald Acuna with the first pitch of the game is. And obviously, if you're here for the end where we give you beat the streak picks, some random waiver wire ads for fantasy baseball, and a series of the week, we got you covered there too. But before we start, usual, follow Beak Brands on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Like we've been saying on the hockey podcast, if you're one of those instant gratification people and you need to have the content right away, Facebook and Twitter might be better for you because they automatically post there. #blessup. But Instagram is where you can argue with me and Keith, and we'll tell you why you're wrong. So if you're interested in that, I'm at Tim Ferdinand on Instagram. He's at Keith Hernandez, 2 Z's. Check out the website, beakbrands.com. The podcast is there. The written content is there. I guess I'll use this time to thank you. The waiver wire column is always the top click getter of the week. Always. Every single week. All right, so big fans of the waiver wire column here. Fantasy Twitter represents the waiver wire column hard.
Yeah.
It's always Fantasy Twitter. So love that. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Share it with a friend. Whatever. If you like it, hit us up. If you don't like it, tell us why, and maybe we'll take some requests. Me and Keith have brought that up before. And then, obviously, if you're a Spotify, Apple listener, subscribe, rate, review, follow, etc., etc. All right, so we had a little 5 minutes here of us BSing. Let's get into it, Keith. We'll start with the oldest news first, because like I said, we did not put an episode out last week. Hector Santiago, for whatever reason I can't get his name right now, plays for the Seattle Mariners. He's kind of a journeyman pitcher, all right, at this point in his career. First player tossed for sticky stuff and then promptly suspended. So why don't you give us the lowdown on that?
Yeah. So he finishes his inning. I think he gave up a run. Don't really remember, but he came out of the game, got that routine check by the umpires. They felt his glove, and it was like a little sticky, like the fingers were sticking to something inside of the glove, but it didn't really look like there was anything in there. Usually, you could see it, like he was using like a light brown glove too. You could definitely see if there was pine tar. Pine tar is dark, or something like glossy, like it would reflect. But when the camera shot was like inside the glove, you couldn't really see anything, just the umpire's fingers sticking to the glove. And then they're like, yeah, it's sticky, you're gone, even though he's already out of the game anyway. He was ejected. And then I don't think the umpires really knew what to do, because they went over to the MLB Authenticator and they're like, hey, what do we do with this? And the guy was like, I don't know, I can get a bag for it.
Yeah, they literally just put it in like a white Glad trash bag.
A white trash bag they put it in. And where it's supposed to go is like to the league offices, I think in like New York or whatever, and then they're like supposed to run it through some lab and do some tests on it so they can figure out what the substance is, maybe figure out what pitchers are using or what Hector Santiago is using, whatever. He just said it was rosin. It was what they were in Chicago, I think. It was like 95 degrees. It was like in the middle of the day, sun beating down on everybody, no clouds. Like this rosin gets very, very sticky. Like when you activate it with like sweat or even with like sunscreen, like other people were doing before, like it'll get very, very, very sticky. So he said it was just rosin. The MLB didn't do a test on it. They just said, all right, whatever. Like it was sticky.
It's sticky. You're gone.
You're gone. Trevor May on the Mets was speaking about this. Like, if someone on the Mets did that, like their bullpen's toast, because they've been playing like. They play like 31 games in like the span of 29 days or something ridiculous like that.
With no starting pitchers.
With no starting pitching. So like luckily for the Mariners, like their bullpen wasn't in terrible shape where like 10 days isn't going to kill them. But for a club like the Mets, like the Nationals, any team that's playing a lot of games in a small amount of time, losing anybody, no matter how bad they are, is gonna really hurt you.
That'd be funny if it happened to the Phillies. Because they're bad enough and they're terrible as it is, and then it's like, oh yeah, we can't even pitch this guy.
There's one guy in the Phillies bullpen who was an ERA under 1 through like 20 appearances. I don't know why they just don't throw him out there every single day. Maybe because they don't want to break him.
Yeah, he's the one saving
like
grace
emotionally.
They have. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you think like the sticky stuff checks, like this is going to be ongoing all year? Because the pitchers are unhappy. Like I know they've been consistently doing them, and most pitchers, like who's that Sergio Romo, like put his pants down like around his ankles almost. Yeah, like.
I feel like people were hot about it like that first week. Seems like this week it's been like fine. It's really funny when a pitcher gets shelled for like 6 runs in an inning, and they get to like manager takes him out of the game, and then he gets checked after giving up like 6, like Garrett Cole.
Yeah, against Boston.
He gave up like 3-4 home runs against Boston. Took him out of the game, and then they're like, "Hey, we gotta check you for sticky stuff," and he just like put his head down at the feet and like handed over his hat and his glove. It was hilarious. What I don't understand is like when position players are pitching, they're even checking them.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, what are we doing?
That's ridiculous.
Most of these position players are topping out at like 79.
Like,
yeah,
Eric Sogard's still in the Cubs, I think. I think he was the one pitching against the Brewers when they blew that 7-run lead. Like he walked off the mound at the inning. They checked him. He's like, "What are you guys doing?"
Yeah.
Like, stupid.
You love to see that. I want to start off the podcast with a light topic because obviously we're going to get into Trevor Bauer. Not so much of a light topic.
He's an idiot.
He is an idiot. I mean, we knew that beforehand. He's always been an idiot.
We knew that beforehand, exactly.
So he allegedly, I don't even know how to like phrase it. I guess it would be like
just beat him. Just beat her.
Yeah, like sexually or not sexually or both or
probably,
whatever.
Yeah. You can read the ESPN report, the Athletic report on that.
Yeah.
You can go into all those details.
So me and Keith are really good at not talking about things off the field because that's how you get yourself in trouble. All right, so what we're going to do is obviously just throw it out there that if he actually did this, he deserves to go to jail or whatever the punishment is. Screw you. All right,
He's
if he
done.
didn't do it, then all right, you'll be back. So we're just going to talk about how this affects the Los Angeles Dodgers here. All right, I guess I'm gonna go first this time. I don't think it's that big of a deal because they're really
No.
good. Like, just to put it out there, like, their pitching rotation without him right now is Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler, Julio Urias, Tony Gonsolin, who's been like, aight. And then obviously they'd have to fill his spot because, what's his name? Dustin May
Is down.
is down for
they
the
got
year.
Somebody.
So, but here's why I don't think it's a big deal. Like, one, they have David Price, who has like two
That's what I was
rings,
gonna
just
say.
sitting in the
Yeah.
bullpen, like just throwing a couple innings here or there. Like, he's like,
Yeah.
on any other team, he'd be like a number 3 pitcher, and he's like
Yeah, exactly.
just some random dude they have in the bullpen. And number 2 is they have more prospects and young players than they know what to do with.
Yep,
So if they
that's
really
also
wanted to
what I was
make a
gonna say.
trade for somebody, like, they could make a trade for that person
Yeah.
right now. Like, they could make a trade whenever they want.
Exactly.
So do you agree that it's really not? I mean, obviously, like, he's been pitching well, so
Yeah.
like it's kind of a big deal, but like it doesn't hurt them as much as if a team like
It's
whatever.
so-
If the Giants lost
Yeah.
like Kevin Gausman, like they'd be screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's weird just to say that he's been pitching well when he's also like giving up the second most home runs in the league. So you've just been lucky, I guess, with not giving up those homers with runners on base.
Yeah.
I think he's given up 19 or 20 homers through 13 starts.
Yeah, I was surprised when I
Um,
checked like his stats. I thought like his ERA and his WHIP were like good. I was like, that's so weird because I feel like he gives up a lot
Yeah.
of home runs, but it had
Well,
to be like what you
that's
said.
That's who he's always been. A
Yeah.
guy that gives up a ton of home runs, and he's just lucky that guys aren't on base. And he walks a decent amount of people per game. He walks like 3.5 per 9, I think, something like that. 2.5, 3.5, something like that. So yeah, he's just been lucky this year. But I think the only thing this puts him out for is maybe getting from first place. And this is also me just hoping that we get to see a Dodgers Padres wild card game.
See, I don't want
'cause
that.
that- I know, but that would be so much fun. Imagine that game going like extra innings, and them going back and forth with the extra inning rule for like another 5 innings. It goes like 16 innings in a wild card
See,
game.
I
with
want to
that
see
rule.
them play 7 games.
I see. I don't want to face either one. I just want to see like a sudden death, like fight to the death.
Yeah, well, if
Like,
they play
Bench is gonna clear like 3 times.
if they play in the NLDS, then we won't have to face them
Yeah.
anyway. As long as we win the division, we'll be all right. One of them's gonna have to lose eventually.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's just the other one who doesn't lose is gonna play us, and then we're gonna be upset.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But back to Bauer.
Back to Bauer, yeah. Yeah, like you said before, they have David Price, which honestly, before this whole thing happened, I was like, I feel like the Mets could give like absolutely nothing to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers would be like, here's David Price for free. Just take all of his money,
Yeah.
like take on the whole contract, and here's David Price for free. Like that would have been cool, but now there's no chance that's gonna
No,
happen.
there's no chance of that happening.
And then yeah, they have all the prospects in the world. They're probably, my guess is they're gonna beat the Mets to either Kyle Gibson or Barrios.
Listen, if they want to beat the Mets to Kyle Gibson, I don't care how well he's pitched. You can take him. All right, because that's not the
Yeah.
guy that I want. But just for Bauer, like I was saying before, he walks like you were saying before, he walks a decent amount of guys. His WHIP this year is only 1. So like
That's
the more,
ridiculous.
the more that I'm looking at him, it's just like he is the analytic dream. 3 true outcome pitcher. He's gonna walk you,
Yeah.
give up a home run, or strike you out. Like imagine if like Trevor Bauer got to pitch a whole 9-inning game against 9 like Adam Dunn's throwback. Like
Oh
it,
my God. In nightmare. Joey Gallo now.
Yeah.
Like,
the game would be like 9 hours long. That's really funny.
oh my God.
Do you think the Dodgers make a trade, or is it going to be David Price?
Definitely. No, they'll rock David Price for like 2 weeks. Probably a week after the All-Star break. I'm sure they will have a new player on that team from some organization. I don't know where, but they'll have somebody.
Do you think if the Dodgers, like... Because here's what I could see them potentially doing, because Gonsolin has not been pitching that well, is they go out and get someone like Kyle Gibson, and he's just, like, solid for them, and then let's say they know Bauer's not going to come back, they're just like, you know what are we doing? We're the Los Angeles Dodgers. And then they make a second trade for some, like, overpowered pitcher. Now it's just like, all right, now it's scary. I could see them doing that.
They trade for Scherzer on, like, the last day of the deadline.
Exactly. Like, something silly like that. And now it's just like, oh, yeah, if Bauer comes back, he's, like, our number 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like, how many guys do you need?
It'd be really annoying. Like, there's no way they get German Marquez, because that's in the division. I don't think the Rockies would give him up in the division. And,
you know, like I said, I wish we had that recorded. Because I told you, like, I was like, you know what? I would love me some German Marquez if you can get him out of Colorado. And his last 2 starts have been amazing.
Amazing. And then on the SNY broadcast a couple of games ago, Gary Cohen was like, you know, Keith and Ron, like, who do you want the Mets to trade for? At the same time, they were like, German Marquez.
Yep.
This was before you almost do the no-hitter.
I know. I'm a big German Marquez guy.
Like, German Marquez, yeah.
That's who I want. But I don't think we're going to get him, but that's who I want.
Got it. Yeah.
Speaking of trade rumors, we're going to flip to the other side here. We're going to go over to Minnesota, where pretty much I think their whole team is available for the most part, because they have severely underperformed this year. I picked them to make the playoffs. That ain't happening.
No,
Keith did not pick them to make the playoffs. Oh, did you? I thought you wild card 2.
I don't remember. I thought I had them in the wild card.
Yeah. I think they might have been your wild card 2 team. That ain't happening either. All right, so that's unfortunate for us. But I guess, we're not the only ones who missed on the Twins. They are just, I don't know why they're so bad. But Josh Donaldson, 2 things this week. Number 1, called out Giolito from the White Sox after he cranked a home run, which was amazing, claiming it's not sticky anymore or whatever.
Yeah.
Love it. I love this, divide now between, hitters and the juiced ball and pitchers and sticky stuff clashing all the time. Big fan of this, because I feel like eventually you're gonna have a batter and a pitcher on their own team say something contradictory in a press conference, and there's gonna be beef. That I can't wait for.
Yeah. Speaking of the juice ball, I have a feeling that some of them are getting slipped back in.
You think
so? There was a couple home runs on Thursday. A little questionable. Like that DeGrom, the home run that Austin Riley hit off DeGrom, it was a laser beam, but I thought it was gonna be off the wall, and that ball just kept going up, and that's not really a pitch that you drive
No, I know. It was very strange.
It was a little strange. I mean, I know the ball carries in Atlanta when it's hot too. And then new stadium, but then there was a couple home runs in Boston, I think, between Boston and the Royals, where it was pop-ups, and the ball just kept carrying.
They kept the ball carried.
That was just a little. It was I'm not too sure about that.
But with Donaldson, there are some trade rumors surrounding him. Because obviously...
Luckily, they're from Andy Martino.
Luckily, well, not just with the Mets. I mean, luckily for the Mets, it's from Andy Martino, clown. I guess we'll start with the Mets, because we're obviously in New York, and obviously if you're watching, I don't know if you could tell or not, Keith may or may not be a Met fan. So, is Donaldson someone you'd want the Mets to go after?
No way.
Thank God. Okay. Why?
No way. Because his calf is off the bone pretty much. He's gonna get hurt. If they trade for him, he's hurt the next week, 100%. Or if we do trade for him and he's somehow healthy, he's gonna hit 230. He's not gonna hit for power. Something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
Not only that, he has 2.5 years left on that contract.
I know, that's the bad part.
I do not want 40-year-old Josh Donaldson on my team.
Yeah.
When we're already gonna have 40-year-old Robinson Cano on that team.
Let me ask you another question.
Yeah.
Is Josh Donaldson a pitcher?
Pitcher?
Is he a pitcher?
I don't know. He's not a pitcher, so
so I don't want him. There you go. He's not a pitcher. I don't want him. That's it. If he's not
they're talking about upgrading third base. All they need is VR back. Throw JD Davis on the bench. Whatever.
You ready, Keith? Because I have some stats for you. Because I can't stand this every time. The Mets need to trade for a hitter. No, they don't. All right, here we go.
You think they're fine?
League batting average this year, 240. All right, keep that in mind.
Okay.
Last year it was 245, 2018 248, etc., etc. All right. everyone thinks the world is like the sky is falling because the Mets can't hit. Right? For the most part, there's a lot of people the Mets aren't hitting that well. They're batting .232 as a team. League average is .240. I got bad news for you people. Nobody is hitting. Except for like Boston, the Reds, and the Royals. And maybe the Giants, I guess, if you want to throw them in there. Like, no, as a team, no one else is hitting. So why are we going to go trade for Josh Donaldson, all right, or who's batting .250? It's not even like he's batting like .310 or whatever. Like, this guy's batting .250. He's barely above league average.
If the Reds were terrible and they were like, here's Nick Castellanos, like that's fine.
I traded my whole team for him.
Oh yeah.
But like, oh man, we need pitching, not Josh Donaldson.
Yeah, they need another, like, they don't need a high end reliever. Someone who's like, half decent would be nice.
Yeah.
They just need one more guy in there. Thank God Betances is done for the year. Enjoy rehab. Like, your career's over. I'm sorry. Familia was good for 2 months, and then he turned back into Familia. He was like fake good because his whip was like 1.8.
Yeah.
And he was getting lucky. And then the Tatis broke him with a grand slam. Like, that was it for him.
Where can you see Donaldson ending up, though? Do you think do you think he gets traded in general?
Yes.
I think some team will take him,
Some team will take him, and they're going to take him for, very, very little. Trying to think. I don't know who the Brewers have at third base.
Brewers are a choice. I've heard that a couple places.
Brewers, yeah. I think because the Brewers always need offense. I feel like they're always struggling, especially when Christian Yelich isn't hitting 400.
Yeah.
It's a problem. Padres are fine. They have Machado. Dodgers are fine. They have Turner. The Giants, they're rocking like, I don't even know who plays third. Levin Longoria is there, but he's hurt.
Yeah.
But whoever's been filling in has been doing fine because nobody's complaining. There's not really like a contender that like needs someone. The Red Sox have Devers. The Yankees have Urshela. He's playing well enough. The Rays got Wander Franco playing third base. All
right, so how about this one for you? Trade him back to Toronto to DH.
That would be a good one.
Instead of Rowdy, like, full-time DHing, I mean, it's not Rowdy full-time, but, like...
That's the only hole they have.
Yeah, because in the infield, you got Vlad, Simeon, Bichette, and Biggio, which is, like, ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then in the outfield, you got, Grichuk?
Teoscar Hernandez, and Gurriel.
And George Springer.
George Springer,
Yeah, who's played, like, 15 games this year.
Yeah, so, but he's hitting like 400 since he came back from the injury list. So.
He is. So he's out there. So I guess one of those guys could move to DH too, but like you could tell Rowdy to, really take a seat.
I think they're gonna use Grichuk as trade bait for a pitcher.
They need a pitcher really bad. I know.
They need a pitcher.
You took my other one that you said. You said Oakland. They don't have a shortstop. Josh Donaldson cannot play shortstop, but I'm sure if you could convince Chapman to play shortstop for 2 months. That would be one hell of an infield again.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so send them back to one of his former teams. I wasn't even thinking about that.
That's right. Because everywhere he goes, they like him.
Fans in Toronto want him more than the fans in Oakland. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, if you plant that idea inside of a Blue Jays fan's head, they're never gonna shut up about it.
I know. I wish I knew a Blue Jays fan so I could ask him. This is where we need Twitter. Or somebody.
Exactly.
Connect us with someone in Toronto. We need a Blue Jays fan. All right, a couple more things we got here. I know today's going to be a little bit of a long one. That's okay. Yeah. Shohei Ohtani. I'm just going to go right into it. I don't care if this man doesn't play another game the rest of the season. He should win the American League MVP. I don't care. 100%. Guys, 100%. Like, who was that J.J. Watt who tweeted, like, the definition of value? Like, dude, this guy's batting like 280 with 30 home runs, 63 plus RBIs, 11 stolen bases. I don't know if that includes the one he swiped last night. Then on top of that, in 60 innings pitched, he has 83 strikeouts, a 12.6 strikeout per 9, and a 3.6 ERA. This guy's the best pitcher on their team. This guy's the best hitter on their team. This guy is the best base runner on their team. I mean, obviously Mike Trout's hurt, so just take it easy over there. But people that are healthy right now, this guy should win the American League MVP hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Pitching stats are not, like, he's going to win MVP.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way that Vlad can even touch him at this point.
Because
unless Vlad
like,
hits like 40 home runs in the second half.
Yeah, Vlad's going to have to hit like 70 home runs on the season to even make it a competition. Yeah, because even if you look at it, if Vlad is like even a little bit better at hitting, and then it's like, yeah, well, he also chipped in like, whatever, a 3.25 ERA with like 125 strikeouts.
Yeah.
I love it.
What are you going to do?
I love Sho-Time.
Exactly.
I don't care that he just got rocked against the Yankees. And that he's literally murdering me in fantasy baseball this week. Because he's hit a home run every single day. And he hit 2 against the Yankees, and he hit 2 the other night. I'm like, can you stop hitting home runs for like 5 days? No.
You think he gets the 35 by the All-Star break? He's another week.
He might. He's hot right now. He might.
He's on a Schwarber-like tear.
He is on a Schwarber-like tear. And speaking of Kyle Schwarber, your boy.
My boy.
I know Keith loves himself some Kyle Schwarber. Guy thought he was going to be DFA'd by like the middle of May. He has hit approximately 9.7 million home runs over the past 14 days. But there is some bad news, so why don't you fill us in there?
Yeah, pulled his hammy yesterday. Came up limp on a deep single to right field. I haven't seen a diagnosis on it yet, but definitely looks like injured list type.
Yeah, 100%.
Of hamstring injury.
Yeah,
like six to 8 weeks type of hamstring injury. So,
you know, if he needs help with that, feel free to contact at Anthony_Rigoli on Instagram. Yeah. He can help you with that. He's past it now. All right, but he's got the bad hammy. No, but seriously, that's a shame for him and the Nationals. Because I thought he was one of those guys that are like, we need to trade this man immediately. Because I think the Nationals are going to fall out of it. Would you agree that if he did not get hurt, that this was a candidate for like, we need to ship this dude off like right now?
Oh, I don't know. The Nationals were in it. That's the thing with how bad the division was. The Mets slowly falling apart. The Braves are not a serious franchise. The Phillies are not a serious baseball team. Like the Nationals were in it, and they were. I think they would have kept Schwarber up to the last day of the deadline, where they were like, all right, do we trade him or not? And they would have held out long enough to get like fleece another team for Schwarber.
Yeah.
Now they're in a bad situation. I'm sure, honestly, they're gonna get swept by the Dodgers this weekend. They're going to be back under 500, and they'll probably trade him like that last week of July. Not the return they wanted, but they'll honestly still probably get some team's top 10 prospect, which is automatically you fleece the other team.
Keith hates Kyle Schwarber. He hates him.
by the time Schwarber comes back, it's going to be like mid-August. You're going to get a month and a half of Schwarber for two of your top prospects. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Not worth it.
Not worth it. No, I know.
I'm sure the Yankees are going to be all over him though, because they need a lefty bat.
They need a lefty bat bad. And speaking of lefty bats, just real quick, me and Keith wanted to note that we nailed the All-Star game, most of our picks there, but especially the National League outfield. Go Jesse Winker, go!
Yeah.
I love that guy. I love a lot of guys on the Reds. People that listen to this probably like, this guy's a Reds fan. Like, I'm not. I don't know why. I just love a lot of the guys on their team. And Luis Castillo is not terrible anymore. Like, okay. We're getting there. They're going to be... Because I picked them to make the playoffs, and they're going to be that team that misses it by, like, 3 games because they started off the season, like, 20 games under 500. So that's good. Last thing before we get into some beat the streak and whatnot. The Miami Marlins pegged Ronald Acuna Jr., with the first pitch of the game again. This time it was Pablo Lopez, tossed immediately. Do you think this one was intentional, and do you think it had any connection to the previous whatever, like 5 times they've hit him in the first inning?
Yeah. Yes. And I think the ejection was stupid, even if it was on purpose. Because, the umpire was like, all right, warnings to both sides. And then Braves manager came out, argued. Umpires had a meeting for 5 minutes, and they were like, okay, yeah, actually, he's thrown out of the game. Like, that was so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, throw a warning at the Marlins bench. You don't even have to throw one at the Braves bench. Throw a warning out there. Do it, and then you throw another warning out there before the next time they play each other. I don't know, it's stupid.
It was. I just don't understand why they always because I don't even know if it was connected to the last one. But I think the Marlins pitchers are just like taking turns hitting Ronald Acuna Jr. Because he's hit him. Then the bad one was like 2018. Urania threw behind him and hit him and all that other stuff, and then Gausman threw behind Urania, and then like the bench is cleared or whatever. Like that was intense.
Oh my god, I forgot Gausman was on the Braves.
Yeah, on the Braves at one point. And then didn't Alcantara hit him last year? Or 2019 or something? 2019 and 2020 are like melded together in my mind, so I don't know what year it was.
Drilled him.
So I'm just like, this is just like
the
Marlins.
They keep hitting him in the same spot.
In the same spot, I know. That's why it's so funny. But I just...
Pablo Lopez only threw like 92. Like, Alcantara threw like 99 in his back.
Well, Lopez doesn't really throw that hard.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, compared to other pitchers. And he's been probably... Well, I don't know. I guess Sandy's been really good. But either him or Lopez have been, like, their best pitcher this year, hands down. Mm-hmm. And you toss this guy after one pitch.
Stupid.
I don't think the ejection was...
Stupid. Ejection was stupid, but it's also stupid on Lopez's part. Like, you've hit him so many times, you know you're going to get tossed.
That's why it's funny. Because they're not even trying to hide it anymore. They're just like, yeah, whatever, bro. Get in the box because we're going to hit you. So funny. But the other thing, do you think we're going to see something else today? Like later on today, Marlins Braves.
Hit?
Because I think Alcantara's pitching today because I have him in
probably
in fantasy. I don't think he's going to hit him because he already took his turn. Do you think it's going to be somebody else that nails him out of the bullpen?
I think it'd be really funny if like they threw like inside to him first pitch, didn't hit him, but got it in. Yeah. Just to make him nervous. I don't think he doesn't really get nervous, but still, you know what I mean.
Yeah, Alcantara will start Saturday against Atlanta instead of Sunday.
Cool. Any pitcher that throws at him, bullpen starter, be stupid.
Oh, they're getting tossed immediately.
They're getting tossed immediately. Do not do it.
I say, do you think the Braves are gonna hit somebody though? Like, you think we're gonna go back to what we had last time?
They're also gonna get tossed if they hit somebody.
Yeah, so. I got to see who's pitching for the Braves today.
Hmm.
Also, some news that we didn't talk about last week since we're here on the Braves and we're trying to kill time. Mike Soroka re-ruptured his Achilles.
Yeah.
And I know we talked. I saw you in person, so we were talking about that. But
yes.
Isn't it crazy? Like
Kyle Muller's pitching for the Braves.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy that when he was pitching in spring training, me and you both were like, "Wow, that's like really soon for this man to be pitching." And then he got hurt. Then he had a setback. Then he had like that exploratory surgery, and now here he is,
re-ruptured his Achilles.
I think that
guy, man.
Yeah, poor guy is right. They really did him dirty indirectly.
They did. Those those Achilles injuries kill you. I mean, Ryan Howard to ruin his career.
Yeah. Well, he had no mobility to move with to begin with.
No mobility. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Kevin Durant's fine, I guess, but he took literally like 2 years off.
Yeah, 2 years. It's not good. It's not good.
7 days ago, he suffered a complete re-tear.
Yeah.
And he had season-ending surgery last week.
Yeah, we'll see you in 2023, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, don't even pitch him next year because they're gonna do the same.
I don't think he's gonna be able to come back. So, like next year, I don't think he's gonna.
Oh, I think it was Tim Hudson, who was another Braves pitcher that tore their Achilles years ago.
I think so, right? Didn't Adam Wainwright do it also when he was running out of the box? I'm pretty sure Adam Wainwright ruptured his Achilles too.
I remember I was at the game when Tim Hudson was covering first base and he got stepped on.
Yeah.
And his leg just snapped, and the Achilles snapped.
At least that was like a contact thing. Like Soroka just he re-ruptured it just walking around. Crazy.
Terrible.
But let's get to the end here. All right, we got a couple of things. Obviously, if you stuck around for our fantasy stuff and beat the streak stuff, we got you covered. So these picks are going to be for the 4th of July. All right, so we figured, you know what? Little hashtag America. Let's give you some picks for 4th of July here. And listen, nothing says celebrating 4th of July like picking a player who is not an American-born player. All right, we're going to go Shohei Ohtani for a couple of reasons. One, like we've just said, have you seen this man play baseball the past couple of weeks? And two, my fantasy baseball matchup is coming down to the literal wire. And you know this man is going to hit a home run tomorrow to make me sad. All right, so Shohei Ohtani. And if you're not with that, you could also take Jay Cronenworth. He's been pretty hot. I've been riding him too. But Ohtani's my pick. Keith, who you taking tomorrow?
I'm taking Michael Brantley against Cal Quantrill. Classic lefty-righty matchup. Brantley's hitting like 340 on the season. He's hitting like 440 since he came back from the injury list like 3 weeks ago. I got him today. I got him tomorrow. So
there you go, doubling up on Michael Brantley.
Doubling up on Michael Brantley.
At Tyler Ferdinand right there, my brother. Big Michael Brantley guy.
Too bad I stole him I stole him this year. I stole Salvi this year.
I know. Those are both his guys. He was pissed.
Exactly.
He was pissed. Because he was like, oh, I'll get Michael Brantley like with my next pick, because he was like pretty far down on the rating still. And then you took him. He was like, who just took Michael Brantley? He was so mad. He was so mad. All right. Random fantasy pickup of the week. Also, Keith, I just got to say, since obviously with COVID slowly, going away and us seeing more people we haven't seen in a while, the segment name, Who's Your Randy, is hands down the best segment name we have. Hands down, everyone 100%. Loves it. All right, so Who's Your Randy? I'm going, because we've been taking a lot of pitchers lately on the show, so I decided to take a hitter, and so did Keith, actually. Steven Duggar, San Francisco Giants, right? He's hitting 321, OPS near 1,000, and I really like him if you play in a category league, because he offers a little bit of everything. He's got a handful of stolen bases. He's got a handful of home runs. Obviously, the Giants are not going away for whatever reason. They're a good team, and they put up a lot of runs, so you should have plenty of RBI and run scoring potential there. So if you play in a category league, Steven Duggar might be the guy for you. Last time I checked, he was only owned in approximately 28% of leagues, and yes, that has not changed. All right, so he was on the waiver wire column on Thursday. He's still owned in less than 30% of leagues, so if you're a category league player, Steven Duggar might be a sweet selection for you to pick up off waivers.
For me, everyone's got to go get them a former teammate of Randy Arozarena. I got to go get them some Willy Adames. You need a shortstop. Pick him up right now. Our friend Saquon just got him today. So hopefully, he holds off, because Saquon's playing my dad this week. I want my dad to win. But, no question that Willy Adames was terrible on the Rays. He's always had bad home road splits when he was there. I was telling Tim before we started, he was on Chris Rose's podcast and said every time he hit in the trop, he literally could not see the ball.
Which is insane.
So that which explains why he was hitting 197 to start the season in Tampa. Since getting traded, 39 games, hitting 293 with 8 homers. Last 15 games, 5 homers, hitting 333. Only owned in 33% of leagues. He's just a beast. Go get him right now.
That's right. And he's good for points leagues also. Just want to throw that out there. He's not just a category guy.
Oh, yeah. Good for everything.
Good for everything. That's what we like to see around here. I figured I'd show the category people some love, because, I'm not a category player. We're strict points leagues only, basically. So, show some love to the category guys. I try to put one guy in the waiver wire column every week who's a categories type league guy. So if you're a categories guy, you can check that out. But lastly, let's wrap it up here. Series of the week. I got to go first this week. And listen, I'm taking one that is kind of exotic. You don't get to see it that often. Royals, Reds. All right, so why am I picking this? I picked the Royals 2 weeks ago against the Yankees. Every game came down to the bottom of the ninth except for one. All right, the Royals might not be that good, but they're really fun to watch. And listen, we know the Reds can hit. Okay, and like we just talked about earlier in the show here, league average is like 240. All right, the Reds have like 3 guys hitting 320 plus, okay? So sign me up for this. Royals and Reds, 2 teams that can really hit. I'm really excited for it. Little interleague matchup. I love both of these teams. So, yes, Royals and Reds for me. Who do you got?
That's a fun one.
That is a fun one.
I also got one that could be pretty fun. 2001 ALCS rematch. Yankees.
Really throwing it back there, Keith.
Yeah. 2001, you know, that was the year the Mariners were the best team in baseball. They won like 118 games or something ridiculous.
I'm going to stop you right there, Keith. How old were you in 2001?
1.
So you really remember that vividly, I'm sure.
Oh, of course. But yeah, Mariners somehow are 5 games over 500. They have won 3 more games than the Yankees this year. I don't understand how. And I don't know how they turn into a very fun team to watch. It would, you know, they don't really have pitching. I guess another matchup with teams with no pitching. J.P. Crawford's good for some reason. This random guy Jake Fraley is good for some reason. Mitch Haniger has always been great.
That's right.
Could be a fun series, 3-game set. You know, the Mariners are not far out of that division. And they had another walk-off win last night. I was saying before that they're 10-1 in extra inning games this year.
Cardiac kids over there in Seattle. Things you love to see. So look, that's kind of what we got for today. Real quick before, you know, we hit you with the schedule one more time in case you're a terrible listener. Follow Beak Brands on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Check out the website, beakbrands.com. Podcast is there. Written content is there. Obviously, if you're a football person and you're like, yo, what are we doing out here? We're going to pick up the football coverage probably in about 2 or 3 weeks from now. So if that's like your only sport you care about, like Lou, then yeah, all right, we got football stuff going for you as well. That's probably going to take over our hockey coverage because obviously the Stanley Cup is about to be over because Montreal is awful and they're going to get swept by Tampa. So that's kind of what we got going on there. If you're on YouTube, it would be helpful if you subscribed and, you know, watch the video or not. Just subscribe and share with a friend. And then if you're on Apple or Spotify, or apparently, what is it? Not Chromebox. Like, I can't remember the other podcast service that like a lot of people listen on. I have to check it out. But if you're on whatever it's called, I don't know what it is. I forgot. Yeah, you can subscribe there also. All right, so me and Keith will be back before the All-Star game with maybe some home run derby picks and some fun. Maybe we'll do some prop bets for the All-Star game. We know, Lou's degenerate friends over there have really been thirsty for some baseball picks, so maybe we'll get you covered there. And that's kind of what we got. And then after that, it's trade deadline time. So me and Keith are going to be busy for the next 45-ish days, give or take. And then obviously after the trade deadline, it's August. So like, we're here.
There's no second trade deadline this year.
That's right. So there's going to be a lot of action.
July 1st. It's going to be commotion.
Yeah. So things you love to see right there.
Yeah.
So me and Keith will be back for the All-Star game. Until then, enjoy the 4th of July, and we're out of here.